Ken, this week on Winging It, you want to talk about long distance touring. We're talking about those trips that take 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a go. You said to me you bring more than the average toolkit, and I'm shocked to see what you've just pulled out of your wing. You take all this with you?
I do, and you know what? I've probably paid for it in gas mileage over the years,
Yeah.
but I've very rarely not been able to keep us going, or myself, with some of the toys that I've brought. Like I say, if I'm not on a flatbed, it's still a good trip.
Right, so when you say us, you're talking about yourself and everybody else in your riding party, right? You travel a lot with a lot of other wing riders.
Yeah, it's a camaraderie that I always enjoy. Everybody needs to get out on their own, but we can also do individual rides as a group. It sounds a little ironic, but this is where we're going to be tonight. Take your own route and get some alone time.
Right, so if something goes wrong in the electrical department, it looks to me like you're ready for anything.
Well, I'd like to think I'm ready for anything, but so far the source would be if your battery bails on you.
Yeah.
It's the heartbeat of everything else electrical on your bike. And the electrical load on bikes today is getting far much better with LED and HID lighting, way more than it used to be.
Right.
But if your battery's in trouble, sometimes getting it jump started by somebody else might get you to the next town where you can rectify the problem better. So you got to have some way of sourcing off of somebody else. It could be a car, it could be a bike, but small cables like this are easier to pack than the big ones for a car.
Okay, so you get your little jumper cables, test light and voltmeter. What are you doing with that?
If we suspect something, and I said I'm not an expert in electronics, but I know where to stop before I'm dangerous,
Yeah.
I want to validate whether I'm getting proper output from an electrical system. I know my alternator should be putting out 13, 14 volts
Right.
At 2,000 RPM or better. If not, this will tell me, so I know where part of the culprit could be. If I just need to know if there's continuity between this light socket and that light socket, it's just a point and clip, and when the little light comes on, you don't need numbers, you just need to know that the circuit is intact.
Wow.
So just a little tool that really doesn't take much room.
Okay, do you carry anything on your Goldwing specifically that allows you to monitor your electrical system?
Yeah, I guess one of the biggest things with the electrical load is I installed a analog voltage gauge, because I'd like to watch my problem develop if I'm going to have one,
Right.
as opposed to an idiot light that comes on and then it's game over. It's
Right.
probably the last amount of power it had to illuminate on your dashboard, and now you're at the side of the road.
Right.
I can see that on the go with an analog gauge.
Wow. And then finally, I guess everything is firing electrically, but you may have forgotten about your fuel for some reason and you've run out of fuel. I see you've got the handy dandy gas card.
It's a newer style of a siphon hose, but any hose will do. Anybody that's done it knows it doesn't matter whether you're middle grade, low grade, or premium. It tastes bad when you have to siphon up gas from your buddy's tank.
Right.
So this has a mechanism of a ball bearing inside. I don't know if you can hear that.
Yep.
But as you start that will start the suction feed down to a source. Now you may have to find a bottle in the ditch or something to put it into and then transport that into the other bike. But your source gas tank must be higher than the empty point of the other end of the hose.
Right.
But very, very handy. Again, takes up very little space. We've all come close to running out of fuel or had out of fuel, and then you're waiting for what's next best.
Clearly you have been thinking about how to avoid breaking down when you're out on the open road. And you've got yourself covered both with the electronics and the fuel. Nice job.
Thank you.